That's a pretty strong statement. Now, here's why this is important to you. Now, first, as you just heard, the NSA director said that there are other classified programs that we don't know about. Well, how can we, as Americans, be sure that our privacy is not being invaded? Second, why should you, law-abiding citizens, take the administration at its word? As we've seen in the past few days, President Obama has said one thing, and sadly he's done another. And finally, the bottom line is the NSA needs to keep Americans safe, but the agency also needs to do this without trampling on the Constitution. And joining me now with reaction are two lawmakers, Republicans, and that's Tim Huelskamp and Congressman Steve King. Gentlemen, welcome to the program.
Good to be on, Sean. Thank you.
All right, Congressman Huelskamp, let me begin with you. Loretta Sanchez said lawmakers learned significantly more about the spy programs at the NSA, and she said, I'll tell you, what we've heard, meaning the public, is only the, quote, tip of the iceberg. Do you know what she's talking about?
Well, Sean, there's more to it, and what really bothers me, and I think should bother most Americans, is this administration certainly willing to lie to Congress, as Mr. Clapper apparently did in March, willing to mislead and cover up what's going on. There's plenty of classified information here, but as a member of Congress, there's plenty of things that they told us yesterday that were brand new to us, and there's real issues of probable cause, real issues of why do you have to collect up to 1 billion phone records every day to collect that, to go after that proverbial find the needle in the haystack, and those are real questions of distrust, because who can you trust in Washington, this administration, with IRS, Benghazi, and now follow up with this scandal?
She said it astounded many of you that went up there. Were you astounded by what you learned yesterday?
Well, I was astounded by what I learned, but I also was astounded that when members of the administration admit they lied to members of Congress and then said that was probably the right thing to do on these issues. And the question was raised by one of my colleagues. So if you lied to members of Congress in open hearing, how do we know you're not lying to us in this classified briefing as well? And it's just hard to trust what they're saying.
I'm gonna play that tape in just a second so people know exactly what you're referring to. Congressman King, good to see you. Were you
Sean.
Astounded? Is this the tip of the? Is this really just the tip of the iceberg? I mean, that'd be shocking.
You know, Sean, I don't think I was astounded. I think that the breadth of this had already been released out into open source, and of the materials that I was reading, some of that, across the internet, they maybe have known what sites I was going to. I really understood, I thought, the scope of what they delivered, but I wasn't confident in the response that they gave, and also the way they parsed their language and referenced particular sections of the code. It wasn't clear to me where they were drawing their authority from or where they were hanging their hat, and I think that you could probably justify each component of all of this surveillance on its own, maybe constitutionally, maybe statutorily, maybe justify it as far as an intrusion into privacy. But when you put this whole picture together, it's more than creepy. It's beyond the imagination of George Orwell.
Yeah, I mean, are the new things that we don't know about as broad and general? Is it a bigger fishing expedition than what we know?
Well, think of a fishing expedition that has the capability, not necessarily utilizing it all, of tracking all phone records, not necessarily audio, but possibly all cell phone activity, the movement of it, the internet activity that's there. Put that all together, and then know that they also have a picture of both sides of the envelope of every snail mail. And look at an IRS that has a software package to search this and punish the political enemies. And look at a program that the Obama administration used politically to profile people by using open source data, maybe not exclusively. And you've got a picture here that the American people are very concerned about, Sean.
All right, Congressman Huelskamp, let's go back to what you were referring to earlier, and that is the National Intelligence Director, James Clapper. This is what he said when asked directly if this was happening when Senator Wyden asked him.
Does the NSA collect any type of data at all on millions or hundreds of millions of Americans?
No, sir.
It does not.
Not wittingly. There are cases where they could inadvertently, perhaps, collect, but not wittingly.
Now, before I get to his clarification, was that a lie, Congressman Huelskamp, in light of all that we know at this moment?
Everything we know, it certainly looks and sounds and like a lie, Sean. And but what was astounding in a classified briefing, say, hey, I had to tell you a lie. and the people deserve to know we do not have to sacrifice our individual liberties for security. It's a difficult job to do. But Nixon's Attorney General and his Chief of Staff were convicted of lying to Congress, and I think Clapper's done the same thing here.
All right. I never thought anybody could top Bill Clinton in terms of parsing words. We were alone, but I never really thought we were alone. I mean, which is one of my all-time favorite parsings. But now we've got Clapper. Actually, this is what he said to ABC News, trying to clarify what was a lie that he said to Senator Wyden. Watch this.
I have great respect for Senator Wyden. I thought, though, in retrospect, I was asked, when are you going to stop beating your wife kind of question, which is meaning not answerable necessarily by a simple yes or no. So I responded in what I thought was the most truthful or least untruthful manner by saying no.
The least untruthful manner, but it was happening. He knew it was happening, and Wyden knew that he knew it was happening, right, Congressman King?
It looks to me like he essentially confessed that he willfully misinformed Congress. And I will tell you that I've seen a number of these cabinet members come before the committees that I serve on. And I won't say that they come out and willfully tell us something that's dishonest, but I've never seen them come with the intention of informing Congress. It should be, here's the open book. We're doing the right thing. We want to inform you. Instead, it's divert, it's obfuscate, it's delay, it's run out the clock. I'm really out of patience with this administration, and I have been lied to in a classified setting in the past. So if this is the case, it's not the first time.
All right, guys, thank you.